Hello and welcome to the video. This is a follow-up video to one that I did just a few days ago. Those of you that watch a lot of YouTube stuff will have seen probably 6 or 7 of us release the videos at exactly the same time, and this is the way it tends to work. Manufacturers like RadioMaster ship reviewers kit in advance of the date. We get sometimes only a handful of days. Which was kind of the case with this one. So I definitely wasn't calling that first video a review. I think you need to have radios a lot longer than that to do a review. Sometimes we're lucky and we've had it, in one case for a product that I'm thinking about, I've had it for 3 months before the videos actually come out. In which case, yeah, I'd absolutely be able to call it a review. I feel like I can speak from a position of knowledge and know-how, because all you can really do, if you only had it a couple of days, is talk about your first impressions. However, there was lots of fantastic questions on that original video. Thank you to all of you that left those questions. Thank you to RadioMaster as well for answering some of these things. I've put together this little list of some of those questions, and shout out to those of you that get mentioned. Thank you to everybody that left questions, but I thought it would be fun to kind of run through those as kind of an FAQ, or frequently asked questions, to kind of cover that so that everyone has those answers. So the first question was from Monomy5201 asking, do the antennas on the transmitter give diversity in 2.4 only? The simple answer to this is that it's either 2.4, 900, or for Gemini X modes that'll actually run both. So there is an antenna mode in the lure. So switch mode will switch between both antennas, 2.4 or 900 megahertz, that will save power than running them both at the same time. And obviously if you select the Gemini mode, it's going to be running both at the same time. If you select one of the 2.4 modes, it's going to be running just the 2.4 antenna. If you run the 900 modes, it's going to be just the 900 antenna. So no, the answer is it's not going to run both 2.4 for that kind of diversity. The next one was from Innovator535. Can you sim without a battery? Unfortunately, no, you can't. There needs to be a battery plugged into the radio to power it to work. However, when it is plugged in via the single USB-C port at the top, it not only will act as the sim, but also will do cool things like charge the battery internally too. Next question I had from a couple of people was, how do you modify and tension of the sticks and modify things like the travel? Well, it's all done via a couple of things at the back. Most of it is underneath the grips. If you take the grips off, you have access to a number of ports. There's an additional port that's actually at the top of the battery bay here in the top left hand corner, and another one underneath this extra little cover that's here to the right hand side of the strap carrying handle. And how it's laid out is shown in this diagram. So the good news is you don't have to take your whole radio apart, but there's no easy access via ports or holes at the back of the radio to get to those connections. So that's how that all works. While we're on the subject of the gimbals, I had a question from FunkNunk1 and others. Can any of the upgraded gimbals fit into the GX12? The answer is very easy. No. The GX01 factory fitted gimbals in this are kind of the upgrade. It's the RadioMaster's first new next gen digital gimbal, and it's CNC and ball bearing like the older original AG01. So there aren't any options to replace them at the moment. Next question then was from Brain Dead Engineering, talking about, can you see the screen in bright light? This is an OLED, and this behaves exactly the same way as an OLED. However, this OLED, as I talked about when I looked at it, is the kind of screen that I like, purely because I'm only going to be using it to select the model memory I need for the model that I'm about to fly, and I might use it occasionally to just check via a Lua script on things like the GPS lock status. However, a lot of the scripts will actually announce verbally when things like GPSs have a lock, or battery voltage is getting too low, or whatever else. So in reality, particularly when I'm flying FPV, I'll just turn my back to the sun while I select the model memory. There are other radios available that have LCD screens if you are lucky enough to live in a place where you get bright sunshine most of the time. A couple of people asked questions about, will there be other options available for these switch panels on the shoulders, i.e. all switches? Checking with RadioMaster, the answer at the moment is unfortunately no, not right now. However, they are planning to release the step file, and there's also options available on Thingiverse right now. I'll put a link down below so you can download it and mess about with it and print and play with your own. I'm hoping that RadioMaster do bring out a couple of other ideas for these shoulders. I really think they're missing a trick, not offering upgrade or customization packs for these sections, and it is such a big benefit of this radio that that customization is available on the shoulders. Tech RC EU asked, is the 900 MHz legal in the EU yet? The short and easy answer to that is no. None of the current ELRS sub-G Express LRS equipment is legal in the EU. While the firmware allows most compatible hardware to transmit on frequencies when selecting that domain, it's capable of transmitting well above the legal power. Some manufacturers are selling 868 versions of their products, and that makes it feel like to the end user that these are legally certified versions of Express LRS for the EU. Be careful with that, because they're not. When Express LRS add LBT for the LR1121 based equipment and legal modes for 868, then people like RadioMaster will be able to apply for all the certifications to make that legal to run in places like the EU and the UK. And the last question I've had from a number of people, some people were disappointed about the number of momentary switches that were on the radio. The cool thing is that you can set up the momentary switches to do lots of cool things. You can get them to emulate a latching switch, a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or more position switch by setting up some stuff in HTX. And I'll probably make a quick video showing you how to do that. I'm not sure I've covered it in the past, but it's relatively easy to do. However, excitingly, both SA and SD will have a toggle or 2-position option in the next firmware update, so that will give you more options too. So hopefully that's been useful for those of you that have been thinking about this radio, maybe as something to treat yourself to for Christmas, and it clears it up. I will probably do that video, as I just mentioned, about the switch thing to make it do lots of funky stuff. I might do it once I've had a cup of coffee in a minute actually and stick it on the channel. But for those of you hopefully that asked those questions, that has given you the answer. Radios are incredibly personal things. There is no one radio that's going to be perfect for everybody. Some of us that have been around for a long time will find radios that we really love and will kind of develop muscle memory for the switches in those specific places. I still have that muscle memory for things like the original FreeSky Taranis X9D Plus that I still have here, that I still use. So radios that are approximations of those switch positions feel really natural to me. But if you don't have that experience with another radio, you might not care about that. Some people might want LCD screens, some might want color and touch. But I think this is genuinely a really nice balance of all the stuff. And I really like the idea of having the replaceable switch stuff on the shoulder. But as I said, I'm hoping that RadioMaster will bring out some kind of custom shoulder switch setups. So if you want it all to be switches, that's something you can have and just plug in, set up in HTX, and away you go. Thank you for watching my video. Check out the playlist, and adding Painless 360 to your search terms will help you find my content. If you haven't done so already, please hit the like and subscribe button. It helps a lot. You can support the time I spend here answering questions and helping others by using the links in the video description.